Hey there friends, it's Liz from the Peacock Homestead, and in this week's video I'm going to be bringing you a mixed bag. I'll be sharing my thrift shop haul with you guys. I also received one of my packages from eBay. I'll also be roasting a pumpkin and making 3 different recipes with that. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, let's get into the video. I made it to the thrift shop again this week. I had a few things that I wanted, needed, and liked. So this is one of the things that I needed. It was a little basket. It's perfect for my desk to put all my odds and ends in, just to organize it and make it look cute. And then I found this cute little spurtle. It's just like a big long spoon, and it's really useful if you have a humongous pot and you do not want to burn yourself, and you can still stir all of your goodies in your pot. So that is going to be useful. I needed a few new washcloths, and I thought that was a pretty good deal. 2 handmade washcloths for $5. And it is cozy season, so that's why I picked up that little quilt for $6. And this is an old-fashioned coffee grinder. It's a little more pricier than I wanted to pay for it, but I did get it for around $12.95. And I saw this little wooden piggy. I thought it was so adorable. The dust is free, but it was a handmade wooden pig, and I absolutely love it. I got that for $5. Then I found this really neat iron wood stove. It's a little bit smaller than I wanted, but that is okay. It's actually a wood cook stove, and I told the lady at the thrift shop, I was like, since I can't have a real one, I am gonna have a little miniature one so I can dream about having a real one. And I thought that was funny. So I got this little Dutch oven pot. It'd be perfect for baking bread and making casseroles and whatnot. And it has a lid with it. That was $14.99. Then I found these 2 lace doilies. This one was $7.99 and the other one was $6.99. I definitely had fun on this trip, but I spent a little bit more than I should have, but it was totally worth it. So the grand total was $99.28 for this haul. Oh, and I almost forgot, I did get this. I found this actually at Tractor Supply. It was on the sale rack. I thought it was super cute for my kitchen. Yeah, so I'll be hanging that up, and that was only $2, so that is definitely exciting. Ma'am. Hi, ma'am. This year we did really amazing on the pumpkins that grew from our pumpkin patch. We could do a little bit better, but that's okay. We did pretty good. So we got 9 or 10 pumpkins, I believe, and we're working right through these. So I just carved the pumpkin open, took out the guts. Those are going to be chicky treats. I'm going to roast the seeds and the pumpkin. So I just put a little bit of olive oil around the whole thing. Of course, I washed it first, dried it, put olive oil on it. I got the seeds all roasted up. Those are delish. I put a little bit of salt, and I also added a little bit of herbs de Provence, and I love that flavor. So I'm going to let this pumpkin cool. I cooked it at 350 for about an hour. So I roasted it. And it's nice and toasty, and I love the coloring on it. It gives it more flavor. And then I am just gonna take all the meat out of this pumpkin, and it's gonna go right in my blender so I can get a nice pumpkin puree. Then I was gonna store it in a couple of jars and then just work my way through that so it'll be easier to put in different recipes. For this week, what I was going to be doing with my pumpkin is making some pumpkin muffins. I'm also going to be making a coffee creamer with that. So I'll be making a pumpkin coffee creamer as well as some dog treats. So I'm incorporating pumpkin into my dog treats, and I do have that recipe and the recipe for the muffins on my blog, thepeacockhomestead.com. It's going to be under the applesauce banana bread as well as the dog treats. So I will put that in the link below, in the show notes below, and then you guys can take a peek at that if you wanted to try. So these homemade pumpkin muffins are really delicious. All I'm really doing differently from my recipe on my blog is I'm adding a cup of pumpkin, and then I also added a cup of sugar, 1.5 cups of flour. Instead of buying brown sugar, I just get molasses and I mix it with sugar. So all I did was add a teaspoon of molasses, a 1/2 cup of olive oil, and then I added a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of cinnamon, as well as 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then I'm just giving that a good mix. And then I already have my muffin tin ready with all of my little baking cups in it. I have my oven up to 375 degrees. So I have it heated up, so that'll help the muffins rise a little bit better. So to get that first kind of heat to it will make them pop up a little bit better. And then you're gonna turn it down to 350 and bake that for about 20 to 25 minutes. And they turned out super delicious, and they're really pretty. You see how they're a lighter of a muffin? But it doesn't take away on flavor. These taste so good. What would have been really good on them if I had a glaze, but the hubs likes them plain, and I agree they are healthier for us. But they were delish. For this project, I'm going to be making apple cider vinegar. So I took some apple cider vinegar and filled these empty jars that I used for my fire cider from last week's video. And I filled them up to about the neck. And then I took this apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, and I filled it up the rest of the way to pretty much the top. I'm just going to cover this with a little piece of cotton with a string around it, and I'm going to let it ferment on my counter for a good 6 to 8 weeks and check them, and I'll probably let them sit for a couple of months before I check the pH, and they'll be ready to use. This is my tried and true recipe for my healthy dog treats. So you can use pumpkin or squash or even bananas. It just depends on what your doggo likes. And then if they're allergic to peanut butter, you can use sun butter. So right now I'm just adding 2.5 cups of whole wheat flour and 3/4 cups of rolled oats. I'm just using quick oats. They like it. It's easier to chew for them. Now I'm adding 2 room temperature eggs. I just keep my eggs out on the counter, especially if they have the bloom on them. It is safe. It keeps my eggs good for quite a while on my counter actually. And then I'm adding 1/4 cup of peanut butter. And if you don't have peanut butter and your pup is allergic to peanut butter, you can use applesauce instead. That is a good binding agent. Oh, and I can't forget, I did preheat my oven to 350. So here, this is optional. I'm adding a teaspoon of cinnamon. Cinnamon is very good for your pups. And then now for the cease de resistance, I'm adding my homegrown pumpkin. I'm adding just about a cup to the mix, and then we are going to start incorporating this and getting it all mixed up. So with this recipe, you're just gonna roll these out like sugar cookies and cut them just like you would a little cracker. So it's just gonna make rows horizontal and vertical, and then we'll pop these in the oven. As I was saying before, you can make this your own. You can use any canned vegetables. I've used carrots, I've used my canned sweet potatoes, and my pups absolutely love these. I usually store these in a cookie jar so they'll last for about a week, and then the other batch I will pop in the freezer and I'll take them out, let them thaw, and I will store them in the cookie jar as well. So these are gonna go in my oven and I'm gonna bake them for 40 minutes. So I'll put them on the top rack, and the next pan I will put on the rack underneath. And when 20 minutes hits, I will flip the pans and pop it in for another 20 minutes, and they come out perfect. So they're nice and crispy. Some of them are bubbled up like crackers, and my dogs absolutely love and appreciate these. And I feel so much better knowing what's going in my doggo's diet. The Hubs and I are really big coffee drinkers, except for he does not like creamer. So this is all for this girl right here. So I'm going to be measuring out a can of pumpkin, which is 12 ounces. I already had that measured out. And right here, I'm just adding a half a cup of sugar. And we're essentially making brown sugar, so I'm adding some molasses as well, about a teaspoon of that. And I also have a half a stick of butter melting on my stove because I want to mix all the ingredients and get the sugar all melted. So here we're adding just a half a cup of maple syrup to the mix. And I wanted to actually taste the pumpkin, so that's why I used 12 ounces. And here, just a little bit of cinnamon just to make it have that pumpkin pie flavor. And I'm going to take all of that in my measuring cup and pour it right in with the butter. And then we'll be adding the heavy cream and the milk afterwards. So I'm just going to incorporate this and get it all melted together. And then we're going to add it to our milk and cream. I know what you guys are thinking, ew, butter, but it actually is really delicious. And it's only a half of a stick, and it's going to be separated into 2-quart jars. This creamer will last up to about 2 weeks in your refrigerator. So I'm just gonna evenly distribute into 2-quart jars. And then you can either add half and half or milk. And I'm just gonna make a half and half homemade. So I'm gonna take some heavy cream and I'm gonna fill it up about, I would say 2/3 of a cup. Or even a half a cup there, because I went a little crazy. Then I'm filling up the rest of the way with milk. And then we are going to give this a really good shake. And don't forget to label. So I'm going to put one in the fridge, and then I'm going to give one a try. One of the last things I had to work on this week was making some bread and buns. So this is my universal bread recipe. I have it on my blog as well. And this time I halved and halved it. So I have half wheat flour and half all-purpose flour. And I think that's the perfect yin and yang for making this recipe. If you want to go more of a wheat flavor, but you want the fluffiness of the all-purpose, these turned out amazing. And I can't believe it, I even got the Hub's approval on this, so I'll be making this recipe more often. Good boy. Oh, his foot is cold. So sorry. We've been actually working on getting our kitchen remodeled for quite a long time, and I'm starting to accumulate a few things here and there just to start making our house feel more like a home. So I found these on eBay. Some of them are super cute. I really love these cherries. And then I have a little sheep here. It's super cute. And then this one, I believe, is an eagle or a crow with a star. And then I have these apples here. And then the last one is a sun with everyone's zodiac sign on it. So I thought that was really neat. So I'm gonna be just putting these all around the kitchen, and I can't wait to decorate. And that's it, friends. That's all I have for you this week. I hope you have many blessings, and I'll see you on the next one.